So, it's been 30 hours since the start of the World Cup, and things are already going off the rails. Just go on Twitter and there's literally people comparing it to the Fire Festival, which didn't go too well. I mean, there's literally this whole conspiracy theory that the organizers in Qatar are literally hiring people to go on the street and pretend to be fans, just because some guy on TikTok decided to record them and, well, they were singing Coming Home to the wrong tune, which is weird, but isn't much of a theory, huh? And then there's this guy on TikTok just going around asking people who's gonna win the World Cup, and all of the fans have brand new kits, the same scarves, the same banner, which is really weird. But regardless, there's no way this is real, right? Yeah. But if there's one thing that's getting really, well, real, is the conditions at the football village, because man, that's looking awful. People are paying like £200 a night, and the thing looks like a construction site, to be honest. Regardless, trust me, there are some English fans that are definitely having their money's worth. These two Everton fans just randomly met a sheikh, and they spent all night just posting on Snapchat them going around riding in his supercars and literally playing with his pet lion, which is just insane. Among all of this, Ronaldo and Messi still had the time to post the ad of the century, and everyone is going crazy over it. I mean, Ronaldo's post has like 30-something million likes. It's literally the most liked Instagram post of all time, besides like that egg picture, which for some reason has like 50 million likes or something. But even when it comes to that, people came up with a bunch of theories. Like, if you pay close attention, you can literally tell that the game of chess they're playing is a recreation of this game by Magnussen Nakamura, which ended in a stalemate, meaning Louis Vuitton was probably afraid of hurting someone's ego. But yeah, if you didn't know this already, it's Louis Vuitton makes the bag in which the World Cup trophy is kept in, so this is clearly a reference to the fact that this is probably Messi and Ronaldo's last chance at the World Cup. Even before we got to the first match, things had to go down the drain just a bit further. Benzema is out of the World Cup. Anthony Martial is apparently coming on to replace him, and yeah, this is going to be the first World Cup since 1978 in which the Ballon d'Or winner isn't going to be present. And if you're wondering what happened in 1978, Simonsen pretty much carried this Borussia Mönchengladbach team to the UCL final, only to lose, but still he went on to win the Ballon d'Or, beating Platini and Keegan, but then Denmark just failed to qualify. Still, believe it or not, before the matches started, there was time for one last and probably the biggest conspiracy of them all. So pretty much this writer from Bahrain comes out and tells everyone that the Qatar Federation is about to pay $7.4 million to the Ecuador players so that they will lose the match on purpose. And of course, since everyone is already on edge with the World Cup and all, everyone just took his word for it. And from there on out, well, things escalated. Everyone started taking his word that Qatar was going to win the match 1-0 with a second half goal and just betting their life savings on it. And eventually it all culminated in Qatar's coach coming out and telling everyone at a press conference that this was just a hoax. So yeah, this was almost a real life version of that shady looking character offering you a bribe in New Star Soccer. Regardless, once the match started, the drama was cleared up pretty fast because Qatar, they weren't pretty good. And sure, Ecuador scored the goal and it got cancelled, which led many people to start claiming that the game was indeed rigged. But come on, it was clearly offside, and just look at the rest of the match. From there on out, Qatar didn't stand much of a chance at all. Enner Valencia was incredible throughout the whole game, and if only his goal wasn't disallowed, or even maybe if he could have played the whole 90 minutes without coming out injured, maybe he could have been the first ever player to score a hat-trick in a World Cup opening match, which would have been insane. Regardless, it's still crazy that he's already on 5 World Cup career goals. It's literally just 1 less than Messi and 2 less than Ronaldo. It was easily the start of the first match. Just look at the faces of the Qatari fans when he scored his second goal. If you need something more, just look at his graph. His performance has literally been considered by SofaScore as the second best opening match performance in a World Cup ever. Crazy to think that just a while ago, this guy was literally trying to evade the cops by faking an injury and being carried out on a stretcher because he had failed to pay child support. Nevertheless, moving on to today's matches, they were actually pretty entertaining. So we started everything off with a blockbuster of a match between England and Iran, which provided us with 8 goals and a Gareth Southgate impersonator on the stands. Regardless, if I had to pick a man of the match, it would have been Jude Bellingham. He scored the opener and was pretty much spotless throughout the whole match, even becoming the second youngest ever player to score for England at a World Cup, while Bukayo Saka also made history scoring 2 goals himself and becoming the 3rd youngest ever English player to score a goal at a World Cup. Overall, this match was just great for English fans. I'm sure y'all are very hopeful right now. All 4 wingers scored, the entire squad was on point besides maybe Kieran Trippier. It took literally 55 minutes before Iran managed to get their first shot, and by halftime, England literally had 82% of possession. Regardless, with 2 goals by Taremi and an exhibition which honestly wasn't exactly embarrassing, for a team like Iran who has literally just won 2 World Cup matches in their entire history, I think this was a good start. And to make things even better, we got this picture which is just something else. So moving on, Senegal versus the Netherlands. Well, first things first, I think we were all caught off guard to see that like a third of the stadium was just empty. Still, don't get me wrong, while many people thought that perhaps the Senegalese fans would have been down bad missing Sadio Mane, it turns out they were more than happy to be at the World Cup. Still, the match didn't turn out that great for them, with Mendy literally managing to concede 2 goals from the 2 shots on target that the Netherlands managed to get. Yeah, it wasn't a good look for him at all, and he pretty much got roasted on social media. However, on the complete opposite side of the pitch, Andries Noppert literally gave us one of the best fairy tale stories at the World Cup so far, managing to keep a clean sheet at his World Cup debut, despite the fact that throughout most of his life, he was literally just a backup goalkeeper, even finding himself without a club twice over his career, and literally being advised by his own family to quit football in 2020. So, yeah, never give up. Now focusing on the outfield players, well, that first goal coming off a header from Cody Gakpo and an assist by Frankie de Jong surely left many Manchester United fans feeling like they messed up during the transfer market. However, you gotta say this, despite a 2-0 defeat, Senegal were really good. Like, they put up a really tough fight, they held on for 84 minutes before conceding their first goal, and finished with more expected goals and shots taken than the Netherlands. With Mane on the pitch, this could have been a much different game. However, it is what it is, and you gotta give praise to one man, and that's Louis van Gaal, who's literally yet to lose a match ever since he took over the Netherlands national team for the 3rd time. That's 10 consecutive matches without a defeat already. 1 hour later, we got a much different match, with the USA playing Wales, which on one hand might seem like a David versus Goliath type of deal, since the USA is literally 100 times larger than Wales. They're literally the biggest and smallest nation to qualify to the World Cup this year. However, once the match started, it became obvious that size doesn't really matter. At least that's what my girlfriend tells me. But even before that, we got to see some lady having the time of her life singing the Welsh anthem, while American fans seem to still be stuck on this argument.
It's called soccer!
After one more unconventional team picture, Wales entered the World Cup stage for the first time in 64 years. And man, I gotta say, seeing Gareth Bale play World Cup was a joy. Even if during the first half Wales seemed out of ideas and mostly just outplayed, having to resort to pretty much bullying Pulisic out of the pitch and allowing Timothy Weah to make a bunch of strange headlines, as his goal literally made him the first person to score against Wales at a World Cup since, well, 17-year-old Pele in 1958, and also allowed him to surpass his dad's World Cup tally, as despite winning the Ballon d'Or, he never even played in one. Isn't it super weird how the son of the president of Liberia is playing for the USA? Again, he was born there and all of that, but when your father is literally the president of the country, I don't know, it's just a bit strange. Regardless, over the second half, things were completely different, and Wales really managed to turn the game around, even though at times their tactics seemed to literally just be to get the ball to the big guy up front once Kiefer Moore came in. They still went on to get the equalizer, with Bale scoring from the penalty spot. So yeah, that was pretty much it for the first 30 hours of the World Cup. And we fans really can't complain, because not only did we get our fair share of drama, but we also got 59 minutes of extra time. Like, what's going on? This tournament is clearly out of control. So yeah, I guess I'll see you tomorrow.